Good morning, Freedom Marchers. Give y'all a minute to come up in here. Good morning. Good morning, Freedom Marchers. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Tyrus Bain. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. It is Monday, November 8th, 2021. And today, I'm going to talk about whether or not we can rely on the Supreme Court or any court. Josh Death Thrash was good. So I want to talk about the Supreme Court, and I also want to talk about voting and those who, claim to want freedom, insisting that we vote. All right. I want to talk about that. I might not be able to talk about both right now, but maybe I'll talk about one on the way to work and then one on the way home from work. But I want to talk about the Supreme Court, because right now there is a case, a gun case, right, out of New York, that is in regards to, somebody, I think the Gun Owners of America in New York is suing the state of New York for their law that says that that people can't just defend themselves outside of their home. Like they can't use their weapons to defend themselves outside of their home. And, you got to get a permit, and it's a may issue state. So that means that even if you qualify, like if you have no prior convictions, you have a clean record, all that good shit, you're in good standing and good character, they don't have to give you the permit, right? Whereas in a shall issue state, if you demonstrate all those things, well, then they have to give it to you, right? And there's no just cause, requirement. Whereas in New York, in states like New York and California, you got to show like a good reason, good cause to have your rights. You know what I'm saying? To enjoy your rights, you got to show that you're in danger, immediate danger, specific danger to you, which is complete and utter bullshit. Motherfucker.
Slow traffic.
So you got to show that you're in specific danger, right? You got to have like a restraining order. You have to have like a court case going on, something like that, which is bullshit. You shouldn't have to show that you're in immediate danger to be able to get permission to keep and bear arms, right? You should be able to just have your weapon on you at all times. You should be able to go anywhere with your weapon, outside of private places where they don't want you to carry your weapon. Anyway, so they just heard oral arguments from both sides last week, and it sounded like the Supreme Court justices, they had their questions, and it seemed like they were kind of, pressuring the state of New York, the people that represent New York that want the may issue status to remain and wants to keep you from being able to defend yourself outside your home. It appeared that they put the pressure on them, but it's funny that this even has to be done, like that we have to go to the Supreme Court to protect a right that it should be automatic. That's what the Second Amendment says. The Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. But I know that the majority of the justices are like Republican or conservative, and everybody thinks that, oh, we're gonna win this case because we have a majority. But can we rely on that? Can we really rely on that? Like, what happens if if they rule to uphold the New York state law that says that you have to show good cause, and it's up to the discretion of the issuer to determine whether or not you deserve it. Like, what if they uphold that? Then what do we do? Then what do the Republicans do? You know what I'm saying? Because it was a whole big deal when Donald Trump, you know, put those justices. I think he put 3 justices on the Supreme Court. You know. So what if they rule against our right to keep and bear arms? And then even if they do rule in our favor, what does that mean? Does that mean that we automatically, like nationwide, we're able, if they determine that having to get a permit to exercise your rights is unconstitutional, will we be able to just walk around with our firearms in every state? Will that be possible? Or will the states take it upon themselves to say, screw the Supreme Court, we're going to do what we want to do anyway? Never mind checks and balances, never mind, you know, all that good shit. Never mind the reason we have 3 presidents in the first place. Can we really, like, if the Supreme Court rules in our favor, does that mean that they're going to make sure that those laws aren't enforced? The reason I ask that is because, well, it's kind of different. In Illinois, it's not really the same thing. In Illinois, Cook County, they passed a law to where they're taxing people for ammo and for ammunition and guns. So if you buy a gun and you get ammunition, you're charged a certain amount of tax for every round of ammunition and for every gun you buy. And the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court of Illinois, determined that that was unconstitutional, but they put in a stupid ass loophole for these cats to jump through. They said that it's unconstitutional unless that the funds from those taxes go towards something that is relevant to what you're, you know, taxing them for, right? So what Cook County did was they changed where the funding was going. So now, instead of the funds going to where they had them going in the first place, they're now saying, oh, well, it's going towards, you know, gun violence prevention. So now they issued the tax again. See what I'm saying? What if the Supreme Court says, oh, well, it's unconstitutional, right? It's unconstitutional to require a permit to exercise your right to keep and bear arms outside of the home, right? What if they do that? But they leave open a loophole for these tyrants to continue to push gun control. What happens if they do that? Because we're so caught up in trying to change the system of oppression, right? This is an oppressive system. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if we're the best country in the world, right? The United States might be the best country in the world. They might be, we might be, you know what I'm saying? We might have the best systems or whatever. At the end of the day, we're the best oppressive country in the world. We're the best tyrannical country in the world. You know what I mean?
Keep right onto
And I keep saying it. The only reason that is because we do have so many firearms among the people in this country, and that's what they're trying to reverse. They're trying to stop that. They're trying to make sure, they're trying to dwindle it down to maybe 100 guns among the people. You know, that's what they're trying to do. So, trying to go through the system, you know, going to court, doing all this stuff, filing lawsuits, spending money. We should not be having to spend our money to ensure our rights are protected. These politicians, these representatives that we voted into place should be protecting our rights. They should be like, look, they shouldn't even be thinking about gun control. If they want to stop gun violence, well, there's no such thing as gun violence. It's people committing violence using a tool, which happened to be a gun. If they want to prevent gun violence, there are many ways to do that. First of all, an armed society is a polite society. I don't care what nobody says about the wild, wild west. Oh, the wild, wild west. Everybody had guns and they was killing each other. No, they was not. They were not. When it was a time of the wild, wild west, they were not just running around killing. Everybody got guns. Let's just shoot each other all up. If that was the case, then how is it that there are so many people in this country right now? Were there conflicts? Yes. Were they used guns? Yes. Were there gunfights? Sure. But that's just the reality of it. But you weren't just running around, there were robberies and things like that, just like there are now. Just like there are now. You're not going to stop violence by creating gun control laws. Gun control laws do not prevent violence. The best thing you can do about violence is ensure that everyone is empowered, meaning they're able to use any tool necessary to protect themselves. We should not have to go to court and spend our money. You know what I'm saying? We got all these organizations, these pro-gun organizations that put up these fights for us, and we have to donate money to them just so that our rights can be protected, just so they can fight for our rights, when our so-called representatives should be doing that. The Supreme Court, they might strike down that may issue bullshit. They might strike down that permit to exercise your right to keep your arms outside of the home. But is that going to ensure that we can safely walk the streets with our firearms without being harassed or terrorized by the police? Are the governors or the mayors going to uphold that court decision? Because these people, they say screw the Supreme Court all the time. They say screw the courts, and they do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the eviction moratorium, that was deemed to be unconstitutional to the landlords. But Biden did it anyway. So the bottom line is this, and this is why I want to talk about voting, right? This is why I want to talk about voting, because voting is just another way of using the system, or trying to use the system, to make change for the better and all this other shit. And I use Shawn Baker Shawn Baker MD as an example, because he says that he's about freedom and pro-freedom and all this other good shit. And I actually believe that he believes that he is for freedom. But when he tells people that, oh, you need to go vote, voting matters, every other video, I'm like, why are you pushing this voting thing so hard? One minute you're talking about freedom, the next minute you're talking about voting for an oppressor. Because I don't care if it's local or global or national elections. That's what you're doing. If that candidate is not talking about breaking the chains of oppression by decentralizing the government, by abolishing the IRS, by not participating in the IRS extortion system, by demanding and decreeing that the police departments are no longer to be controlled by the politicians. They are to answer to the people. You know what I'm saying? If you don't put the power into the hands of the people, if you're not talking about that, if that's not your bottom line, if you don't say that once I become once I become elected, I am going to ensure that your freedoms are 100% restored, or I'm going to fight like hell to make sure. If they're not doing that, if they're not putting their neck on the line to secure our freedoms, then what are we voting for? What are we voting for? If you don't have a candidate out there encouraging people to stand up for themselves, be self-sufficient, and not allow tyranny to rule over them, then what these people, like, and as a matter of fact, individuals like that wouldn't even want your vote. They would tell you, I don't want your vote. What I want you to do is I want you to vote for yourself. The only way you're going to secure your freedom is by standing up yourself and ensuring that your freedoms are restored. I can't do it for you as a government politician. The government, this system, is too entrenched and it cannot be changed. We must destroy the system. We must rebuild something new. We must rebuild a system of freedom where it's about voluntarism, anarchy, you know what I'm saying? All that good shit. If they're not talking that shit, then what are we voting for? Why would we go to vote? I'm gonna make sure we're gonna like, it's bullshit. I'm gonna make sure that there's no transgender bathrooms and all this all that shit. Which, okay, that's fine, but what else are you gonna do?
Next exit on the right, and then keep right.
I'm gonna reduce taxes and I'm gonna reduce government. No, that's not enough. Reducing government? No, that's not enough. We must eliminate government. We must eliminate government in a peaceful way, of course. I'm not talking about attacking the government and all that. YouTube, I'm not calling for violence against the government. What I'm saying is, we ignore the government. You know what I'm saying? When they tell us to do something, we tell them fuck off. And when they send their enforcers, and they send their enforcers to attack us, that's when we defend ourselves.
And then left turn.
You know what I'm saying? Their enforcers are human beings, just like us. Their enforcers are human beings just like us. They don't have special powers and special abilities. We don't need to fear the enforcers. If we are attacked by the enforcers, we must defend ourselves. That's another thing. We need to stop standing around while these enforcers go around terrorizing people. We need to start protecting individuals that are being unduly attacked by police officers. We need to show these people that we're not going to stand for the bullshit. Excuse me.
In 1/10 of a mile, left.
There are way more people with firearms in this country than cops with guns. Believe that. And hell, even the police officers are getting fed up. They're getting fed up because now that tyranny is being thrust upon them with these mandates, now they want to do something. Now they want to stand up for freedom, but they're only standing up for their freedom. So I'm not giving no credit to these pigs who all of a sudden, now you want to have a problem with the mandates. But when you were enforcing mandates on other people, when you were enforcing your mandates on the people, these government edicts, when you were going out there arresting people for not wearing a face flag, when your face flag isn't even on right, you didn't give a fuck. Now all of a sudden that the mandates hit home, now you want to have a problem. Now you want to whine. Nah, fuck that. You get no motherfucking kudos from me. Zero. Go ahead and quit and do what you got to do. But you won't get a pat on the back from me. Because when you had the opportunity to stand up for people's rights, all these decades, the police running around, violating people's rights, violating the Constitution that they swore to uphold. They didn't give a shit. As long as they were getting a little paycheck. As long as they had the little badge of power. My badge is imbued with the power of the state. As long as you had that with your qualified immunity, you was good. So I don't give a shit about cops having mandates. Just to digress a little bit. But Shawn Baker, like, listen, I know, you know, they taught you through the indoctrination program, you know, the 15,000 hour, 12-year, which is, well, 14 years. Now they want to add on 2 more years of school to the front and 2 more years of school to the back, which includes 2 years of community college. Am I buffering? So anybody that tells you that you need to go vote is not for freedom. Because what all a vote is,
sharp right turn onto
is
East Pacific Coast Highway.
You're begging permission to have a, you know, you're choosing a ruler to rule over you, and then you're also choosing and hoping that ruler doesn't oppress you more than the last ruler or the other ruler that you feel is going to be more oppressive.
The route guidance is now finished.
You're using the system that tears you down, that strips you of your freedoms. You're going to use that same system to try to get your freedoms back? You know, like, well, and you know, anybody that tells you that they want freedom, but they also want you to vote, like, it doesn't make sense. It's contradictory. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't compute for me. Because you should be aware that it doesn't work like that. It don't work like that. These people aren't going to give up their power because you casted a vote. They're not going to say, oh, well, you know, these people voted for this guy, and this guy talked all this shit about what he was going to do for the people. Which, by the way, that's another thing. You're voting to get these individuals because you want these candidates to do for you what you should be doing for yourself. You should be doing this for yourself. Everything that these politicians promise you, everything that you ask for these politicians to do, you should be doing it for yourself. You and your community. If your community needs something, then the people of that community should get together and figure out how to get it done. We don't need some politician to tell us when it's okay to get shit done. No. They can't even fill fucking potholes. We're gonna rely on them to do the important things for us to make sure that the shit we need to get done gets done? Nah. It's counterintuitive. It's counterproductive. We got to be smarter than that. I'm really on this because next year, you know, there's another election cycle, and they're going to start campaigning, and everybody's going to get caught up in this whole thing, and the vote, and it's all the focus is going to be on voting instead of figuring out how to get shit done for yourself. Let me see what y'all talking about. Contextual MD was good. Xander was happening. Robert Lynn Schultz was good. Oh my Lord. Contextual MD, what the hell? Danny G's, good morning. The Habakai was cracking. Yeah, that's my Discord. Bane Rising. Gun don't kill people. It's people kill people. Yeah, facts. saves the world. Yeah, you can kill people with your bare hands. Matter of fact, hands and feet kill more people than rifles, and they really going hard for rifles. Robert Lynn Schultz says, exactly what are we voting for? Placing individuals in the positions that allow them to enrich themselves and become beholden to moneyed interest over the voting populations. Yeah, I don't understand how someone as intelligent as Shawn Baker MD doesn't understand that. Contextual MD, what are you talking about, man? No, you didn't ask no question. Josh Death Thrash. Well, welcome to the white man's world. We constantly been attacked by social change. Yep. Everybody's had that. Contextual MD says, why should black males subject themselves to inhospitable positions, whereas in the reverse, we as white men are suitable for all shades of women? What are you talking? No, you're not. What? Robert Shaw says, it's not really a white man's world. Rather, it's an elite's world. The elite class has no color other than green. Exactly. Yep. And the sooner we realize it, the better. Oh, Jimmy and Contextual are going back and forth. Got it. You, sir, have no idea what you speak of. Oh, boy. Off the grid is the only way to freedom, and they said they are going to give homeless in LA tickets. Yeah, like these people, however they can extort people. Well, and they're going to give homeless people tickets. How are they going to pay for the tickets? They're homeless. Are they going to expect the homeless person to come to court? These people are crazy, man. Any way they can extort people, they'll do it. And if you can't pay the extortion fee, they'll throw your ass in jail. You can't find the Discord. So my username is Bane Rising. And the Bane Rising, somebody put up the little number after that. Marcy T did. Bane Rising pound 6109. That's my Discord. In turn, white women will never treat black males equal. No, that's not true, Contextual MD. I know plenty of black dudes that are with white women that treat them like kings and are very submissive. White women tend to be very submissive to black men. So I don't know where you got that from. Take heed as a white man, understand the disrespect of white women. All right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And yeah, let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.